Hi, boys and girls. This is Mrs. Nichols, and it's really nice to see you. I miss you. I hope you'll enjoy this little art lesson. It is about a lot of the art terms that we've talked about: geometric shapes, organic shapes, warm colors, cool colors. And we're going to play these elements of art against each other. We're going to start out by making a grid using a ruler and a black Sharpie. And you're going to make your grid system by using vertical lines. That's like when you stand up, you're vertical. So you're going to make vertical lines going across. I made mine about a 1/2 inch apart. Yours doesn't have to be that small. It can be a little bigger, but I wouldn't make them smaller than that. So I did all my verticals all the way across using a Sharpie marker. At first I used a different marker, but it was too thin, and the Sharpie makes a thicker line that's quite nice. So then you need to make your horizontal. Horizontals, like when you lay in bed, you're making your horizontal lines. So when you get your grid system all done, then choose about 20 squares and fill them in. Not next to each other, though. They need to be separated by a few boxes. And so that when you're done, you have a sprinkle of your black squares covered in there, and then the rest are left open. This is our geometric, our rigid shape that looks like it could be made on a computer. Now we're going to use organic shapes that are found in nature. That would be rocks and flowers and landforms and things like that aren't particular a geometric shape. So we're going to make flowers that go on top. And here's how I made these flowers. I'll show you. I used organic lines, and for now I will roll this tape on the back and put that on there so you can see that. Okay, so that's the contrast between the geometric shapes and the organic. So it's a really neat bounce. How do I make those flowers? They're pretty easy. I don't use a pencil. I just use the Sharpie again. I want them big. I want them nice and big and bold. I use 5 petals, and I start like this. I don't worry about the center till the end. And I just make little waves out and in. I make 5 of those as I go around. I start right here, and I make the next one out and in. Go over here. Organic. They don't have to be any particular shape. 3. I'm going to make 2 more. Out and in, and another one. Out and in. None of them match. They're all different, and that's fine. In the middle, I'm going to make circles that are bunched together, just like that. They too have more of an organic than if I tried to make them just perfect. And then I go and I put a few stripes, a few wiggles in each petal. You could have 3, you can have 2. You just want to divide them up a little bit. You don't want it to look like a pattern, though. It can look, some can curve. You decide how you want to do that. So that's what I do. And I would make 3 of those, boys and girls. Again, it's 5 petals. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now this is just the style of flower, the kind that I chose, but you could make a different kind if you like. But I'm going to keep mine in the same, off the same plant. And so they're going to look alike. And again, I'm going to wave in those lines and like so. Now, I would like you to color them. You can choose either cool or warm colors. I chose cool. So I grabbed some cool colors here, and these are the colors I used in that flower. So the first color I get, if I was going to color this one, I might start right here in color. I don't try to do it in a pattern, because then it might end up looking like a piece of candy or something. I just sort of space them out. Do your best coloring back and forth. The Sharpie gives you a nice black line to fill right up into there. Remember, we don't color in circles. It's always back and forth and back and forth. And I'm not doing it so hard that it's leaving little chunks of crayon. I'm just doing it nicely. I might bounce over here. You want it to sort of be random. And even though some flowers do have a look of symmetry to them, but we're okay because it's art and we're gonna take liberties with our flowers as far as making them how we want to make them. All right, and then you take your next color and use your cool colors. I'd probably make that one the same color. How did I do the insides? The insides I did use warm colors, and I colored them yellow. If you want, you can just go over the whole thing like that, you know, ending at your black on the edge. And when I'm done with that, now there's two yellows. I always use this one that is the dandelion one. It's a little darker than the regular yellow, but whichever you have at home is just fine. Then I take orange, another warm color, and I put a little bit of orange. I'm not trying to color them completely, just a little dot of orange on top of those little buds in the middle. If you wanted to, you could even use a little red. I didn't use any red on that one, but a little red you might like it. It doesn't show as much as the orange, I guess. Then you cut them out, and probably you'll have 3. So you'll cut that out and you'll put them there. 2 other things. You might say, where should they go? I would overlap. I'd put one right here, and I might put one there, or I might put it there. You'll have to decide. And at the end, if you wanted to add a few other things to it, like a butterfly or a bee, you could do those with a Sharpie as well, and cut those out and put those by your flowers as well. So in the end, you would have a nice flower garden. Maybe it's got a butterfly on one of the petals. And we're not making stems. It's just, they're just sort of a design kind of flower garden where it's not really growing out of the ground. That's why we made that fancy geometric background and the organic shapes of our flowers to have a high contrast. Contrast means they're drastically different, okay? So that's what it is. Straight lines, and then the lines that we would find in nature, very different. So again, I won't cut this whole butterfly out, but he could be up here. I need more tape. But you could put him on your flowers. You could make him landing on your flower. And again, maybe you want a bee. You could put a bee on too. So in the end, you will have a flower arrangement that it catches your eye a lot because of the contrast of the background being geometric shapes and then our flowers being beautiful organic shapes. Have fun and enjoy, and see you soon. Bye-bye.